Right. So, okay. So digital media theories are the concepts of digital media theories and explain that they are frameworks for understanding how people interact in the digital media. Since our audiences are now connected via online or interact with using digital media, we have to understand these digital media theories. So first of all, is the uses and gratification theory. The uses and gratification theory is a popular communication theory that explains how people use media to satisfy their needs and desires. It suggests that people are not passive consumers of media, but rather active users who seek out content that meets their specific needs. According to this theory, people use media for several reasons, such as entertainment, information, social interaction, identity, and surveillance. For example, someone may use social media to stay connected with friends and family, others to be entertained by funny videos, while the others are stay up to date on news and current events. Ang idea ng uses and gratification theory, guys, is that lahat ng tao na gumagamit ng digital media, they use it for their own personal purpose. No, this purpose can be entertainment, it can be information, no, or informative purpose, o kaya for social interaction, personal identity. No, there are some people who love to post something online to showcase their personal identity. And of course, other people use it for surveillance when they want to follow somebody's action, somebody's status, or kung ano man yung kanyang ah, kasalukuyang nararamdaman o kaya ay katayuan, no? So, kung ano man yung ating yung sabi nga there is no two individual na magkatulad ng media consumption. Na bawat tao ay magkakaiba yung media consumption and it depends on its reason, no? Yung reason niya bakit siya gumagamit ng digital media. Okay? So kaya siya uses and gratification. Ginagamit natin yung media na sa tingin natin ay may pakinabang sa atin, sa tingin natin nagsasatisfy ng ating needs or desires. That's the uses and gratification theory. Kaya ka mahilig sa Facebook because you find Facebook as something suitable or something useful for you. No? Kung ikaw naman ay mahilig sa TikTok, maybe uh, your media consumption ay medyo mahilig ka sa mga short term or short videos, kaya mahilig ka sa TikTok, no? Kung ikaw naman ay mahilig sa mga pictures, you are more into Instagram rather than going to other platforms, no? Ibig sabihin, yung media consumption natin nakadepende sa pangailangan natin at kung ano yung magsasatisfy ng desires natin. Okay, naiintindihan nyo ba? So the theory also suggests that people select media based on their own individual preferences and motives. In other words, what one person finds entertaining or informative may not be the same for another person. No? So yun, pinipili natin yung media based on our individual preference and motives. So kaya walang dalawang tao na magkatulad ng media consumption kasi magkaiba tayo ng pangangailangan at motibo or mga desires, no? So the uses and gratification theory is a useful tool for understanding how people use media and how media can be designed to meet specific needs and desires. For example, a social media platform can be designed to provide users with personalized content based on their interests and preferences. Or a news organization can focus on delivering timely and relevant news stories to keep its audience informed and engaged. So the digital media caters different kinds of audiences individually, no? Iba-iba. Pinipilit ng platform na i-provide yung pangangailangan at mga desires, mga preferences and motives ng audiences individually. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na personalized experience, no, doon sa ating media consumption. Okay? Nakasunod ba? Thumbs up nga kung naiintindihan ninyo yung uses and gratification theory. Yeah, thank you so much. No, so yan yung uses and gratification theory. Ano man ang gamitin natin natin, ginagamit natin yon because we prefer it, and it is based on our desires and based on our needs. Next is the social learning theory. Our audiences are not a passive audiences, no? They are active users. So the social learning theory is a communication theory that explains how people learn through observation and imitation of the behavior of others. We are family. We are observants. No, we are observants. We are people who observes our surroundings. Kung ano yung nakita nating ginagawa ng karamihan, ginagaya po natin. Nakaugat na po yun sa ating sarili, no? Sa ating katawan bilang tao. Ayan, that's the social learning theory that through observation and later on imitation of the behavior of others, ginagaya natin. Ano, ginagaya natin yung uso, ginagaya natin kung ano yung patok, ginagaya natin yung sa tingin natin nakakatuwa sa marami. According to this theory, individuals are more likely to model behaviors they have observed in others, particularly those who are seen as credible, attractive, and powerful. No? Ibig sabihin tayo po mula pagkabata, meron na po tayong mga hinahangaan, meron na po tayong mga idolo, meron tayong mga hero. No, these individuals, these heroes, these idols are the credible, attractive, and powerful individuals that we look up into, no? Parang tinitingala natin. Ayan, this theory suggests that social learning occurs in four stage. Una, this individual will catch our attention, and then what they are doing will be retained in our mind. That is the retention. And then when their activity retained in our mind, what we going to do is to imitate it or reproducing it or reproduction. And last is the motivation in where we live on what we have learned. Okay? So, nakuha yung atensyon, nanatili sa isipan, ginaya, at ipinamuhay. That's the four stages of social learning. In the attention stage, individual must first pay attention to the behavior being modeled. In the retention stage, individual must remember the behavior they observe. In the reproduction stage, individuals attempt to replicate the observed behavior, and in the motivation stage, individuals are more likely to continue replicating the behavior if they are rewarded for doing so. No? Kapag nakita natin, ito yung ginagaya ng marami, ito yung talk, ito yung hinahangaan ng marami, ginagaya natin yung galaw, no? Inoobserbahan muna natin, tinatandaan natin, ginagaya natin hanggang sa ipinamuhay na natin because we believe that when we do something that are favorable to many people o kaya nakita natin na beneficial para dun sa mga hero na hinahangaan natin, pag ginaya natin yon, ang tingin natin, makukuha rin natin yung benepisyo na natatanggap nila. No, that's the idea. Kaya bakit ang mga artista, they are being the models of the shampoos o kaya ang mga kolorete sa buhok, no? Yung mga shampoo or conditioner kasi yung mga manonood ang tingin nila pagka yun yung ginamit na observe na get yung attention na retain sa isip ng audiences natin, 'di ba? And then ginaya nila, ginamit din nila yung produkto na yon, no? Akala nila magiging ganun din yung buhok nila, katulad ng nasa patalastas, and yung benefits na nakita nilang natanggap nung modelo or nung artista o kaya nung kanilang idolo doon sa napanood nilang patalastas, tingin nila makukuha rin nila yon, no? Kung maganda yung buhok, pag ginamit nila yung shampoo na ginamit ng maganda ang buhok, gaganda rin yung buhok nila. Yun ay paniniwala nila. That's the social learning theory, no? Ang ating audiences natututo at ginagaya kung ano yung tingin nila favorable or gusto ng mas nakakarami. So the social learning theory has important implications for media and communications, as it suggests that media content can influence the behavior of viewers or users. For example, media can model and promote positive or negative behaviors such as smoking or safe driving, and these behaviors can be observed and imitated by viewers. So ginagaya ng audience natin kung ano yung kanilang nakikita. The theory also highlights the importance of the role models and impact that they can have on the behavior of others. In the media, celebrities and public figures are often seen as role models, and their behavior can influence the behavior of their followers. Kung ano po yung ginagawa yung idolo, ginagaya mo rin, ginagawa mo rin. Kasi sa tingin mo nga kapag ginaya mo o nagaya mo yung kanilang mga kilos o galaw, o mga gamit na kanilang ginagamit, ay makukuha mo rin yung benepisyo na kanilang natatanggap. Ayan, that's the social learning theory. Kung ano yung uso, ginagaya, no? Halimbawa, maraming bumoto daw sabi, marami daw bumoto kay Bongbong Marcos, ikaw naman ginaya mo rin, 'di ba? Anyari sa 'di ba? So hindi dapat ganoon. Pero that's part of the social learning. Uso talaga sa tao kahit hindi Pilipino yung bandwagon. Pag maraming nagbigti, asahan mo marami rin magbibigti, uso eh. No, 'di ba? Social learning kasi eh. Ayan, kapag nakita mo yung mga tao gumagawa ng mabuti, 'di ba? Pagka Pasko, ano nakita mo sa mga palabas, nagbibigayan, 'di ba? Nagbibigayan, Pasko rin yung ibang mga tao nagbibigayan din. Pero pagkatapos ng Pasko, ay ano na, siraan na, agawan lupa na ulit yung laro, 'di ba? So, ganun po 'yon, nakabase doon sa uso yung natututunan ng mga tao. That's the social learning. Naintindihan niyo po yung social learning? Ayan. Okay? Thumbs up nga kung naintindihan niyo yung social learning. Ayan. O yan. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So we imitate the behavior of others, especially if it catches our attention, retained in our minds. No, more likely we will reproduce it and then later on motivated on it. Okay. The cultivation theory, on the other hand, is a communication theory that explains how the media shapes individuals' perception of reality over time. Ito po yung cultivation theory ay yung theory na nagpapaliwanag doon sa sinasabi ng nanay mo na kaka-cellphone mo yan, kakanood mo ng TV yan. Ayan, ito po yun, cultivation theory po yun. No, sinasabi dito that the media, the perception or how the media shapes individual perception of reality over time. Kapag ikaw ay nanonood ng lagi kang nanonood ng mga maka-Bongbong Marcos, 'di ba? Lahat ng palabas na pinapanood mo tungkol kampi kay Bongbong Marcos, later on maka-Bongbong ka na rin. Kung ikaw naman maka Sara Duterte ka naman, 'di ba? Lahat ng pinapanood mo tungkol at pabor kay Sara Duterte, magbabago yung perception mo sa reality at magiging maka-Sara Duterte ka. Kung ano yung you are what you eat, you are what you consume. Ganun yung cultivation theory. Kung nanonood ka palagi ng mga palabas na pang-Korean, ang kaisipan mo later on magiging pang-Korean na rin. Kung mahilig ka naman sa mga palabas na parang Japanese o ng mga Japanese movies, pati yung mindset mo and then buhay mo, no, yung perception mo of reality will be similar to what you are consuming or media you are consuming. According to this theory, exposure to media content can shape individuals' beliefs, attitudes, and values and can create a shared view of reality among media consumers. Sa madaling salita po, kung halimbawa ikaw ay may kaibigan na sinisiraan yung isa pang tao, kahit wala namang ginawa sa yung masama, yung tao na sinisiraan ng kaibigan mo, nagiging masama na rin yung loob mo sa kanya. No? Bakit? Kasi nakukonsumo yung media, nakukonsumo yung mga sinasabi ng iyong kaibigan. Kumbaga na aanuhan ka, nagagatungan ka. No? So the theory suggests that individuals who consume a lot of media over an extended period of time may begin to believe that the world portrayed in the media is an accurate representation of reality, even if that representation is distorted and exaggerated. This is referred to as cultivation, as individuals become cultivated to the media versions of reality. Nood ka ng nood ng mga Marvel, superheroes, Marvel mga comics, mga movies, akala mo yung reality ganun na rin, may mga kapangyarihan na rin, 'di ba? Nung mga bata tayo, 'di ba? Nung nanonood tayo ng Dragon Ball, 'di ba? Nood ng Dragon Ball, ang akala natin pwede rin tayong mag Super Saiyan. 'Di ba? Nagkanda putok-putok na yung mga tumbong natin kakasigaw para maging Super Saiyan tayo pero hindi tayo naging Super Saiyan. Kasi hindi naman talaga totoo. Ang nangyari lang sa atin is na-alter yung ating perception of reality because of the media that we have consumed. Kakanood mo yan ng telebisyon. Kakanood mo yan ng Dragon Ball. Kaya akala mo Super Saiyan ka na rin. Ayan. Ang kaya mo lang gawin 'pag naging Super Saiyan yung buntot lang ni Goku, yun. Kaya po yun 'no, yung buntot ni Goku pagka tumae ka ta's hindi mo pinutol, 'di ba? Halimbawa mahabang tubol, 'di ba, yung mahabang tubol ngayon, 'wag mo putulin. Ayan, pahabain mo lang, dire-diretsuhin mo lang siguro 'yan. Tingnan niyo parang buntot na ni Goku 'yan, ayan. Basta walang putulan, pero ang hirap nun, Diyos ko, paano ka naman lalakad nun kung yung halimbawa yung tae mo hanggang sapatos mo na, 'di ba? Pasintabi po sa kumakain, baka may kumakain diyan, pasensya na. Alright, so the cultivation theory has important implications for the media as it suggests that media content can shape individuals' perception of important social issues such as crime, violence, and politics. 'Di ba? Kakapanood natin nung panahon ng pandemya, 'di ba? Puro nung ay sorry, not panahon ng pandemya. Sige, panahon na lang ng pandemya. Panahon ng pandemya, ang napapanood natin palagi, lagi na lang may lagi na lang may namamatay sa COVID. O, 'di ba? O, so, ang tingin mo ngayon sa reality, ganun din. Lahat ng tao may COVID na o kaya halimbawa ay yung panahon ng tukhang, 'di ba? Napapanood natin lagi may tinutukhang, lagi na lang may namamatay hanggang sa tingin natin gano'n na yung mundo. Lahat ng makita mong payat, adik, 'di ba? Gano'n na yung pananaw mo, iba na yung perception mo kasi po yung media has the ability to shape our perception of reality. Okay? So these theories also suggest that the media can have a cumulative effect over time as individuals who consume a lot of media may become more cultivated and more likely to adopt the attitude and beliefs portrayed in the media. No, sa madaling salita, the more you consume, the easier you being cultivated. 'Di ba? Ano yung idea rito? Halimbawa, nanliligaw ka, no? Yung mga lalaki nanliligaw, halimbawa, o kaya yung mga babae nanliligaw. Pag nanliligaw kayo, anong ginagawa ninyo? 'Di ba? Kino-cultivate mo siya or sabihin nating um, lagi mo siyang kinakausap, lagi mo siya tinatawagan, lagi mo siya sinisenda ng ah, mga regalo, 'di ba? You always send something from you doon sa taong nililigawan mo. Baka para saan? So that your the individual you are suiting, 'di ba? Yung inaano mo, yung nililigawan mo, ano tawag yun? Yung nililigawan mo ay maging pamilyar o kaya ay unti-unting tanggapin yung alteration, no? Yung panibagong perspective. Halimbawa, yung mga lalaki, 'di ba? May mga lalaki na sa una lang magaling, sa una lang mabait, 'di ba? Sa una lang may tira, 'di ba? May arit, 'di ba? Pagka sa dulo na tamad na. Ayan, bakit? Kasi sinanay ka nila na lagi kang kinakausap ng maayos, 'di ba? Pero sa dulo bubugbugin ka pala, 'di ba? Ayon, akala mo buong katotohanan, akala mo yung nanliligaw sa mabait, 'di ba? Yung pala hindi. Yan, kasi sa una lang na-cultivate ka lang dun sa peking katotohanan. Hindi yun totoo, kundi peke lang, alternative ano lang yun, reality. Ayun. So, ayan. Huwag kayong maniwala agad sa simula kasi lahat talaga magaling sa simula kasi that's part of cultivation na tinatawag. It has cumulative effect over time. Individuals who consume a lot of media, lagi mo siyang kausap, katawagan, mahuhulog talaga yung loob mo sa kanya, ganun mangyayari. Pero iwasan mo yun, di ba? Kailangan pipiliin mo pa rin. Ayun, huwag kang boto ng boto. Boboto mo agad Bongbong Marcos. Sabi lang ng simbahan ninyo, iboto si Bongbong Marcos. Alam mo naman ng walang utak tapos binoto mo pa rin. Ano na lang, di ba? Ganun. Sayang naman yung utak mo, di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng ibenta yan. Buti sana kung pwede yan ibenta. Mahal ba yan pagka slightly used? Di ba? Gamit-gamit din. Ayan. So, balik tayo sa lesson natin. Alright. So, digital media models are conceptual framework that provide visual representation. Teka lang. Of how digital media works. This model help us understand the complex and dynamic nature of digital media as well as the different factors that contribute to its functioning and impact. Digital media models can be used to analyze and evaluate digital media systems as well as to identify areas of improvement or innovation. For example, a media company may use a revenue model to develop a new business model that maximizes profitability in the digital marketplace, while a social media platform may use a user engagement model to design features that increase user engagement and retention. So the communication model can also be represented as a digital media model, which takes into account the unique features of digital communication. So ito yung mga communication model. Since you are first year, you have to understand these communication models. Number one, in the communication model is there is a sender. There is always a sender. The sender in the digital communication model is the person or entity that creates the digital message. This could be an individual, a group, or an organization. Siyempre, kung may sender, meron kang message. The message in the digital communication model is the digital content. No, yung content that is being communicated. This could take many forms such as textual, images, video, or audio. And of course, when somebody, a sender, has to send a message, he has to do encoding. Kasi po, yung utak po natin, hindi po yan nakakapag-usap sa isa pang utak. Hindi pa po natin kaya yung telepathy. No? So you have to do encoding. Encoding is the process of converting the digital message into a format that can be transmitted over digital channel. Yung nasa isip mo, kailangan ma-convert yan into something that can be transmitted over digital channels. Pwede ba yun? Yung utak mo diretso sa internet? Hindi pwede yon. So, kailangan mo siyang gumamit ng pag encode o itatype mo muna sa computer yung laman ng nasa isipan mo. Tapos yung tinype mo na yon can be transmitted over digital channels. This could involve the use of compression, encryption, and other digital techniques to optimize the message for transmission. Of course, kapag meron ka ng encoding, na-encode mo na, nailagay mo na sa computer, yung data, it has to travel. So, merong kailangang channel. Channel in the digital communication model is the digital medium through which the message is transmitted. This could be a wired or wireless network, a social media platform, or another digital platform. Ito yung daanan or through this media, through this channel, through this digital medium, ayan, a message can be transmitted. And then kapag na-transmit na, bumiyahe na via internet o kaya pwedeng wireless or cable, ang gagawin naman ng computer, i-decode niya yon. Siyempre, yung data, yung file information, kailangan yun ma-convert into something that is understandable doon sa tao. So, kaya may nangyayaring decoding, which is the process of converting the digital message back into its original format. Okay, this is done by receiver who uses digital tools to interpret and understand the message. Okay, hindi ka naman makakita ng image o kaya video naglalakbay sa kable, 'di ba? May nakita ka ba? Uy, may naglalakbay na video. Uy, yung pelikula, naglalakbay sa sa kable, pwede ba 'yon? Hindi pwede 'yon kasi electronic signal 'yun eh. 'Di ba? So, ang mangyayari from something like video format, like Word document o kaya ay video, it has to be converted into electronic signal, dadaan sa channel, papupunta sa computer, the computer will revert it, no? Revert it back to its original format. Kung Word mong sinend, Word din niyang ma-download yon. Of course, the receiver is the human, no? It's the human in the digital communication model is the person or entity that receives the digital message. This could be an individual, a group, or organization. And of course, it has to go into full loop, no, or full circle. So kaya meron po tayong feedback. Feedback in the digital communication model is the response or reaction of the receiver to the digital message. This could take many forms such as comment, a like, a share, and is often facilitated by digital tools and platforms. At feedback, during the feedback, the receiver was converted into the sender as the sender who encodes the message will travel to the channel, and the early years sender will be now the receiver who will receive the file, decode it, and understand it. Okay? Kaya may feedback. So kailangan full circle po sila. That's the communication model. The network model is a digital media model that represents the complex and interconnected nature of digital media. Ayan, medyo maano lang to, medyo tricky ito no? In the digital network, nodes are represent the individual users, organization, or devices that are connected through digital media. These nodes can be connected through wired or wireless networks and can be located in different parts of the world. Pag sinabi nating nodes, yan po yung individual devices no, sa network model. Nodes are the individual devices. Ayan. It represents an individual user, no? Pwede ring organization kung ito ay computer ng organization or device that are useful or usable by anyone in the organization. So, pag nodes, yan yung individual user or individual uh, equipment. Now, this equipment, cellphone mo, computer ng ibang tao, are connected with links. Links in the digital network model represent the connection between nodes. These links can take many forms such as cables, routers, or wireless signals and allow information to be transmitted between nodes. Halimbawa, isang cellphone, tinexts yung isa pang cellphone. It is yung connection ng isang cellphone to another cellphone, we call it links. Okay, and then we have the hubs. Hubs in the digital network model represent the points of intersection where multiple links converge. These hubs can be physical locations such as data centers or network exchange points or digital platforms that facilitate the exchange of information between nodes. So kung sa ating internet, 'di ba, kanina meron tayong mga cellphone as the nodes, we have the links as the internet connection. Hubs are the centers, no? Yung internet centers na tinatawag yung mga providers. Halimbawa si Converge, meron siyang sariling antenna, no? Yung antenna na yon is considered to be a hub and it connects one devices to another or every devices to another. Okay, naintindihan niyo ba? Nakasunod ba kayo? Thumbs up nga kung nakakasunod kayo. Thank you. All right. So protocols. Protocols in the digital network model represent the standardized rules and procedures that govern the transmission of the information between nodes. These protocols ensure that information is transmitted efficiently, securely, and accurately and allow different types of digital media to be exchanged. Ano naman po yung protocols natin? These are the standardized rules and procedures that govern the transmission of information between nodes. Kung kayo po ay familiar sa internet, ayan po yung 192.168.8.12345. No, yung mga ganong number. Yan po yung mga protocols. Ibig sabihin, these are the standardized rules or procedures or sabi nating IDs, no, individual identities ng mga nodes. Without these protocols, hindi makakonekta yung mga devices, no? Halimbawa, yung cellphone. Kapag yung cellphone, halimbawa, nanakawan ka ng iPhone, anong gagawin mo? Sabihin mo dun sa iPhone, "Oh, iPhone, nanakaw yung iPhone ko. Ano nyo na, paki-block nyo na sa system nyo." Ano ang iba-block ng ano iba-block ng iPhone? Yung cellphone ba mismo? Hindi, kundi yung protocol lang. Para niyang tinatanggalan ng pagkakakilanlan yung isang device. Dahil wala na itong pangalan, wala na itong protocol, hindi na siya makakatanggap yung notes na yun o yung mini computer or laptop na yun or device na yun, hindi na siya makakatanggap ng anumang serbisyo kasi po tinanggalan siya ng standardized rules and procedures that govern the transmission. Okay? And of course, applications are represent the software and tools that are used to create, consume and share digital media. Yung cellphone mo, walang kwenta yung cellphone mo pag walang applications yan. Lahat ng ginagamit mong mga mini softwares na nandiyan sa cellphone mo, we call it application. Yung Facebook mo, application yan. Tawag mo, application yan. Lahat ng nasa cellphone mo, they are all application. These are the tools that are used to create, consume, and share digital media. Malapit na tayo matapos, mga kapanalig. Of course, ayan na, no? May network model na tayo. And of course, lastly is the cultural model. The cultural model as a digital media model emphasizes the importance of cultural context and social norms in shaping the use and impact of digital media. When we want to use and influence other people through digital media, we have to consider their cultural model. Parang hindi mo pwedeng kausapin yung isang tao ng basta-basta. Kailangan mo munang alamin kung ano yung pamamaraan para makausap mo siya. That's the cultural model. So culture is in the cultural model, culture refers to the shared beliefs, values, and practices of a particular group or society. These can include cultural norms, tradition, and customs that shape the way people use and interact with digital media. So, tandaan mo, kailangan nating unawain yung kultura na meron yung ating audiences for us to communicate to them. Kasi kapag yung kultura nila ay hindi natin kinonsider, maaari tayo magpadala ng message sa kanila at hindi nila maunawaan dahil iba yung kultura na kanilang ah, pinangahawakan or ginagamit. O halimbawa, part of the culture is the beliefs. Ayan, mga paniniwala. 'Di ba? Kung halimbawa ikaw ay born again, yung isa naman ay ibang relihiyon, 'di ba? And you want to communicate to others, kailangan somewhat maunawaan mo kung saang bahagi ng kultura sila nagkatagpo. Yun yung gamitin mo para sila ay patuloy na makausap o mag-usap. Okay? So media, on the other hand, refers to the various digital platforms and tools that people use to create, share, and consume content. This can include social media platforms, messaging apps, video sharing sites, and other digital tools that allow people to connect and communicate with each other. So that's the media. Ito po yung various digital platforms sa cultural model. And of course, we have the users. In the digital cultural model, refer to the people who create, share, and consume digital media. These users are influenced by their cultural background, beliefs, and values, which shape the way they use and engage with digital media. Tandaan nyo yan, na yung mga users o yung mga gumagamit ng mga digital media tools, they are being influenced by their own beliefs and also their idea of their values. Context in the digital cultural model refer to the specific social and cultural context in which digital media is used. This can include factors such as age, gender, socioeconomic status, and geographic location, which can influence the negative impacts, such as changes in social norms, the emergence of new cult way people use and engage with digital media. Okay, so context are the social, cultural context in which digital media is used. Halimbawa, ito yung purpose, no, yung context. Saan mo ginagamit yung digital media? Halimbawa, ikaw ay isa kang content creator. So technically, you use the social media for content creation. 'Di ba? Kung halimbawa ikaw naman ay entertainment purpose user, you yung context mo ng paggamit ng media is for entertainment only. Ganun yung cultural context, social and cultural context. And lastly, impact. The impact of digital media in the cultural model refers to the effects that digital media has on society and culture. This can include both positive uh, cultural practices and spread of misinformation and harmful content. So meron pa rin pong impact yung paggamit ng digital media sa society and culture. Okay, so that will be all for this evening. No, I hope you learned something this evening. Thank you so much for attending this evening's class. Okay, I'll stop the recording.